Sweet friends, welcome to a very special episode of Why Isn't Everyone Doing This? Where we dive deep into the groundbreaking, the taboo, and the life changing topics that are going to help you to embody your highest potential. So, today is a bonus episode with one of my new favorite humans. And this is a student spotlight where we get to highlight and feature the brave, brilliant humans who have said yes to their next level. And you are about to hear from Danny, who went from self-proclaimed skeptic to believer in magic in a very short amount of time. And I'm really excited to share his story with you on all of his intake forms. It was like, is there anything you want us to know about you? And he was like, yeah, I'm skeptical. And on the last night, he was like, I believe in magic. And so I'm really excited to share with you how he went from being skeptical, afraid, because this stuff is weird. Like, this stuff is taboo. We've been conditioned our whole lives to be afraid of many of these modalities, including feeling our feelings. And so sharing someone's story of how they went to feeling this to be true for themselves, I think is really liberating and really powerful medicine. And Danny's story is a really beautiful reminder that manifesting is not just about thinking positive or making vision boards. This is about embodying the version of you who is an energetic match for your dreams. It is about stepping into the version of you who is ready to receive everything that you have been asking for. So, Danny, welcome to Why Isn't Everyone Doing This? I'm so excited for today's
Thank you, thank
conversation.
you.
Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Excited, yes.
So I'm curious if you can just give us a snapshot of like what I mean, like you're a successful man, you're an ophthalmologist, you're a doctor, you're a husband, you're a father. I remember on your intake form you said, what's your occupation? And you said father, husband, optometrist. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, optometrist, not
Optometrist, yes.
ophthalmologist. Sorry, apologies. Optometrist. But I like that you put father first, husband second, and then optometrist. I think especially people who've worked as hard as you have to get to where they are in their career, they
Yes.
lead with that. I'm a Wall Street Journal best-selling author. I made the world's first online meditation training. Like, I'm so busy to prove all of my accomplishments that
Yes.
sometimes I forget that actually my number one job is a mom. So I love that about you. But if you can just paint us a little snapshot of like what life was like for you in regards to magic, in regards to how you feel your feelings, in regards to even pleasure, like, can you give us a snapshot into how you related to those things before doing Ziva Magic?
Yeah, I think before the course and the Ziva Magic, it's really just very logical. Growing up, it's mainly just main purpose, which is getting the job, making sure that my parents were happy for all they worked for us. And so
Yeah.
I was never really spiritual. Um, so after going through school, working, I got a little bit more curious because I wasn't really quite happy with type of like the routine that I was in. Just
Hmm.
going to work, coming home, going back to work, stuff like that. And especially having a newborn, a 20-month-year-old, then it gets tiring.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you went through, med school, which is its own wild journey, and then got married, started your profession, and then had a baby. And I imagine that it doesn't sound like you had really like a reprieve. It doesn't sound like there was like, oh, well, here's the time that I get to rest after
yes.
med school. And now you're
Yes.
in like newborn land and toddler land, which is really intense. So yeah, I get that. It can just feel like I'm doing all the time.
Mhm. Yeah, and then just going through this course, it really gave me the chance of really taking the time to really just think about and visualizing like what I really want for myself to make me happy for the future. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Is there anything you can share? Like, did any of your visions surprise you or any of your dreams? Because I think that's a really sometimes overlooked part of Ziva Magic is just taking the time to ask, like, what would I love? What do I
yeah.
want? I think especially coming from a family that you've said of like, there was a lot of pressure to succeed, get a job, be successful from
Mhm.
a very early age. So it's like, all right, well, my number one raison d'etre is to make my parents happy or to be successful. And you never really get a chance to ask what you want. And so I'm
Yeah.
curious, like, if that was surprising to you or how that shifted you, like giving yourself the luxury of asking that question.
Yeah, I think it really just takes time from like just giving yourself the time to actually just explore and just really think about what you want instead of what other people want from
Yeah.
you. And it's kind of like breaking down layers. So it does take a little bit of time. And I still think I'm going through that,
Yeah.
peeling out the layers and truly kind of finding out like what I really want in life.
Mhm.
But it's getting there, but I think the dream is still kind of fluid in a way, but a
Mhm.
little bit
And I
more
think they always
clarity.
are, right? Like, as you change, your dreams will change.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, it's about listening because the dream, it's not about achieving the dream. To me, it's not like, oh, well, once I achieve X, then I will be happy. To me, it's more like, oh, the dream is the indicator as to where nature wants to use us to deliver our fulfillment to the world, right?
And
Like,
I think that's the
Mhm.
the mindset that you kinda have to switch, and from the Ziva Magic that really gives you that push to kind of change your mindset in that type of way of thinking.
Mhm.
Like, just enjoying the journey and then just surrendering and then trusting things will work out is a
Yeah.
it's a nice mindset.
And so how has that shifted for you at all? Like the ability to enjoy the journey or just be present on the ride?
I think because you always try to figure out, like, what's next, and then instead of stressing on that, I think you put faith that things will happen, and then you yourself will feel more happy and content and
Mhm.
just let things fall into place, and I think that's where I kinda changed the most.
Where's where you change the most?
Just l believing that things will fall into place.
Ah, like having this underlying knowing of like, it's all gonna work out as
Yes.
it's meant,
Yeah,
versus
and
what
then,
was the narrative before? What was the story before?
like, how will I get this done? Like, what's the plan? What's the steps I need to take?
Mhm.
And then stressing on the timeline, stressing on needing to get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah, and nothing kills a dream like stress and rush, right? Like
Yes.
when we rush a dream or stress a dream, we can like choke hold it right out of existence.
Yeah, and then
Uh-huh.
the Ziva Magic really lets you kind of, like, you know, be a little bit more present in life and not always worrying about getting that next thing.
Mhm.
And so it has made me feel better and present, like, when I'm spending my time with my son, my wife, and just friends, and not always worrying about, like, needing to accomplish that next thing.
Ah, I mean, not to sound like a meditation teacher, but, like, arguably, that's why we're here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
arguably, we incarnated to savor those moments with our newborn and those moments with our beloved and the laughter with our friends, that it's actually not about the day that we sign the contract or get the house. I mean, yes, all those things are great, and we can manifest those things too,
Yeah.
but if we don't have the ability or the presence or the regulation in our nervous systems to savor what is right now, why on earth would we think that we will savor the things that we're manifesting that are on the way? And paradoxically, like this is what I love about this modality is that it's giving you the tools to savor what is, to be an enthusiastic gratitude for what is, which allows you to be an enthusiastic gratitude for what is on the way. And I think paradoxically that happens not only in getting clear on what it is that you want through visualize, but actually going into the alchemize piece where you're like, where, where you get to feel the bigness and the repressed stuff, the stuff that we thought was bad that we've been
Yes.
shoving down. But
Mhm.
before we go into alchemize, because I'm really curious to hear what your relationship was with like moving those big emotions, I'm curious if there were any patterns that were repeating in your life or like what felt really hard or where were you feeling blocked or confused before you started this journey?
I think just the fact that if if I wasn't doing anything productive, I was wasting time.
Hmm.
The chase for always needing to always make more to kind of make my parents happy, even though they're probably happy, but it's still kinda instilled in my mind that
Yeah.
I need to always be doing more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you, it's been only just a few days since you've graduated, but have you talked to your parents or related to your parents since then? Like, have you noticed any shift in them or you or how you relate?
Not not yet, because I haven't had the chance to see them yet.
Okay, I would love for you to report back on that, to just be like, "Oh, yeah, my parents were, like, crocheting on the" they were just drinking tea on the porch," or, like, I'm just curious if you notice ways that they are slowing
My
down and
staff
sa
has said that I'm happier at work now.
Really?
Yes.
What'd they say?
That I'm too happy now.
Too happy? Well, I don't believe there's a such a thing. Maybe
Ha Comparison to before, yeah,
okay, I
yeah.
love that. That's thank you for that reflection. Um, okay, so I'm curious what inspired you to join Ziva Magic? And just so that everyone knows, like, you just came on a Ziva Magic retreat, which I know was sort of like a big and rather last minute decision, but I'm curious, like, what was it in you that inspired you to join?
I think you just sold me, and then
But, like, how? What did I say? Was it
No,
just my
I think I
attracting
just
good
started
looks?
I started listening to your podcast, and I think I just really the message resonated, and I
Mhm,
was never really into anything spiritual.
mhm.
I just like to explore different things and see if I can learn anything.
I love this about you, Danny, that you are, like, so curious and so open, and you just ask questions. It's like if you see something and it feels resonant to you, you're like you lean in, and it's really inspiring.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm curious, did you have any hesitations when you were enrolling? What were your fears?
Yeah, I mean, it seems really from the outside, it didn't really seem like something I knew anything about, and the jargon and the words that you guys use, it didn't really make sense at first,
Like
right?
what? Like what would be something that I would say where you're like, "What is she saying right now?"
I mean, stuff like download and containers and, like,
I love those 2 words.
frequencies and like, all these words, you know,
Oh my god, you're my favorite, Danny. Okay, so do you know what they mean now? Should we
I know
define
what they
them?
mean now, and
Okay,
the
should we
magic, and I know what the magic is now.
wait, tell us, what's the magic now?
What's
You define magic for us.
I think magic is just your mindset in life, like, you can make this world be just about, like, waking up, eating, hanging out, going to sleep, or you can kinda make it into, like, your own fantasy, right? And so
Mm.
every day that you wake up, you're just excited on to explore and seeing what's
Oh,
out there.
oh, that makes me wanna cry. Because, like, that's it, right? Like,
Yeah,
the circumstances are going to be the circumstances, and what we get to put our hands on the wheel of is our lens of perception, right? Like, how are
yeah.
we perceiving reality? And then our actions will obviously be shifted based on our perception of reality. And I really believe, and this is baked into Ziva Magic, is that heaven is a vibration. It is not a destination. And so we can give ourselves the gift of vibrating at that frequency of heaven
Yeah,
on earth right
and
here, right
I
now.
think those type concepts that you mentioned, like, when you
Mhm.
say that at first, it's kinda hard to understand, like,
Yeah.
what does that mean? But then I think after going through the Ziva Magic, it definitely makes more sense.
So yeah, can you walk us on this journey? Like, how did you go from being skeptical to being a believer? What was it that shifted inside of you that where you went from like, this is weird and they're using weird words to like, whoa, I do get to create my life into whatever fantasy I desire.
Um, I think I was always just a skeptic just because it's not logical, right? And I'm just a logical person.
It's not logical. Yep.
And so I think I just kinda accepted that you don't always have to have the answer for everything, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You just if you put faith in even the words faith, I don't think I really understood why people prayed and stuff like that before, but I think I do now.
Really? Why? What changed with your relationship with prayer?
I think just after understanding what frequency means, or just the energy that you give off, and just the thoughts, and
Mm-hmm.
that there's nothing that hurts from it. Like, you can pray, and if your energy is out there, and if there is magic out there, is there a help?
I love that. Like, look, I'm not here to proselytize if there is or isn't magic, but if it is out there, We might as well ask
Yeah.
for what we desire. Like, we might as well place the order with what I call the cosmic waitress, the cosmic server at the cosmic
Yes,
restaurant.
yes.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, if you see magic, then it kinda appears, and I think that's something that kind of changed in my mindset because if you're not looking for the magic, you're not going to see it. But when you start to look for it, then it's there. Yeah.
That's actually, it reminds me of a famous Roald Dahl quote, the guy who wrote, I think Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and some other kids' novels, I forget what else, but he said, "Those who don't believe in magic never find it."
Yeah, yeah.
And conversely, if you choose to believe in magic, then you can find it everywhere. Like I planted a garden. It's my first garden. I'm 46 years old and I put seeds in dirt and they turned into seedlings. And I put those seedlings in my above ground garden. I just took a video of it yesterday. I was like, this is magic. Like this seed has turned into a flower and lettuce and radishes and carrots. And it like blew my mind. And because I'm a New York City girl, I've been in the
Yeah,
city
yeah.
since 2001. So like growing a plant feels like real magic. And it's like, all right, well, if a seed can turn into a carrot, then I can be anything I want.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's been nice, like, definitely. I think that's where my mindset kinda shifted, because if you add magic, it just makes your life just a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, and more fun. And that's what I say too. I'm like, even if all of this is hooey,
Yeah.
right? And I'm just like the world's biggest snake oil salesman, you're still going to have more fun. Do you know what I mean? Like your
Yeah.
life is still going to be more enjoyable.
Mhm.
And I believe that the more fun you're having, the better quality things you're going to attract, right? The better you feel, the better things you're going to attract. And so it's like, even if it's all, and then people used to say this with meditation, where they were like, oh, like this is just placebo. And I was like, who cares?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even if it is placebo and you're getting the results you want in your life, then it doesn't matter. Meditation's a mental technique anyway. So I love that take. So I'm curious, out of like the visualize, the alchemize, the magnetize, of like getting clear on what it is that you want, removing anything that's not helping you get what you want, and then turning up that magnetism, turning up that creation energy in the body of those three parts of of the journey or the modality. What was the most impactful for you, or what did you enjoy the most?
I think really visualizing, you know,
Mhm.
just visualizing and really digging deep about what you really want and not having any sort of barriers to your dreams
Mm. Mhm.
because
I'm curious, has your wife noticed any shifts in you since you've been back?
uh, maybe a little bit, a little bit.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm curious about that where it's like, the people who know us the most,
yeah.
um, were there any moments that you were like, "Oh," like you got a quote unquote download or something shifted in your body or you released something from the past or something just started to make sense to you?
I think the main thing is just why people are spiritual.
Tell us, Danny, why are people spiritual?
I think it just like there's it just makes things more fun, more exciting,
Yeah.
more to live for, and
Uh-huh.
it allows you to kinda dream and believe that things will be able to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it allows you to dream bigger because, like, to your point earlier, if like all we're doing is relying on logic and left brain and intellect and everything that we can accomplish with our individuality, to me, it's like having a really great computer. Like you
Mhm.
have an amazing laptop, state of the art, brand new laptop, but it's not plugged into Wi Fi. Like it can't get on the internet. And to me, that's what we're doing to ourselves. We kneecap ourselves when we don't connect with spirit, when we don't connect to our higher selves, when we don't tune into our future selves or believe in magic. It's like having a great brain, a great computer, but we're not using the right brain, the Wi Fi that is
Oh, yeah.
connected to collective intelligence.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
true.
like, can you do it? Yeah, sure. You could write a whole book on your laptop. You could do that all by yourself with no one giving you edits, without checking anything through AI, without Googling anything. Like you could totally write a book, and people have done that for hundreds of years. But if you now have AI and an editor and Google and the ability to like shape it and tune into what's like research articles, it's likely going to be faster, more enjoyable, and a better book and more relevant to what's happening in the collective consciousness right now.
Yeah, yeah, I believe that. That Wi-Fi analogy, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? Let's say you and I are at a party and we meet someone and we're talking to them about Ziva Magic, and they're like curious but skeptical. They're maybe thinking about joining me for Magic Maker on July 22nd, but they're like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of like you, Daddy. I'm kind of skeptical." Like, what would you say to that person?
I would just say be open. You know, there's y we've been living, or at least I have been living a certain way, just going through, like, a very left brain-minded, logical, step-by-step, A or B type of decision making, and
ARB?
A or B,
What's that?
like,
Oh, A
multiple
or
choice.
B. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
multiple
Hmm.
choice. And I think once you kinda enroll into, like, the Ziva Magic, it gives your mind more room to kinda explore. Your the capacity of your way of thinking will kinda expand, and then you'll just start to see things in different ways, feel better. It just gives you kind of like a new mental tool to kinda use for your life.
Mm, hmm. And before we wrap, is there anything you want to say about your relationship with like feel good chemistry or creation energy or pleasure? Like, has this shifted your relationship with your body or your relationship with pleasure? Because I know for so many of us that gets shamed and compartmentalized and shut down. And I'm curious if there was any reclamation for you.
Um, I think in general, I can just feel more pleasure in everything in life, you know,
Yes.
daily task, even spending time with my son now is just much more pleasurable.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a gift. And like that's the game when and I think I used to be a little averse to the word pleasure because it made me feel like you're like going like some adult toy shop or something. Like it felt, I don't know, somehow even the word pleasure felt dirty to me. And I've really reclaimed that word of like, no, I can have pleasure in a cup of tea. I can have pleasure paddleboarding on the lake. I can have pleasure playing trucks with my son. I can have pleasure walking in the woods. That how can we infuse more joy, more presence, more bliss, more awe,
Yeah.
more respect of the unseen world, even in the mundane day-to-day moments.
Yeah, and I think kind of like the analogy is if anyone ever does any plant medicine, the way that you kind of feel, you can kinda get that sense sober.
That's it, Danny. It's like we're waking up our internal pharmacy.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, I mean, I'm a big fan of plant medicine if they're done, in beautiful containers with
Yes.
guidance. But but I also want people to know that that same level of magic, that same level of medicine is available with our own endogenous pharmacy. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that feeling when you're on mushrooms or that feeling when you're on MDMA, the only reason that the external substances can do that to our biology is that our brain has the receptors. So why would the brain have the receptors if the body didn't have the ability to make that organically? Like, for
Yeah.
example, if you inject a lizard's brain with LSD, apparently it doesn't trip because it doesn't have those receptors.
Oh,
And so I just think it's interesting to be like, oh, well, if we have these receptors, then the body must be able to produce it organically. And that's what I love about this is that you can achieve these higher states of consciousness. You can really alter your perception and relationship with reality with your breath, with your pleasure by tuning into a future version of you and doing all of that sober.
yes. I believe
Hmm.
so. I believe that.
Yeah. Great. Well, is there anything you wish that I had asked you or anything you would share to anyone listening?
I would just say, the Ziva Magic, for some people, for me, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time to kinda digest if you're new to it.
Hmm.
But once you go through it, I think you'll be able to see the magic in it. Yeah.
Amen. Oh, well, Danny, thank you so, so much. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful
Thank
for
you.
your bravery in going from because it costs a lot of energy. It costs actually a lot of calories for the brain to change.
It
For
does.
us to shift our mindset is expensive. And it's easier to stay in the rut. It's easier to stay in the inherited patterns and programming. And so
Uh,
I really want to celebrate your bravery and your willingness to shift and to
it's the
change.
same thing as exercising, you
Yeah.
know? It's a mental exercise that we're doing here.
That's right. Yeah, we're taking our brains and our emotions to the gym. I love it. Well, sweet friends, if this has stirred something in you, I invite you to listen to that still small voice inside, to trust that. And that is your future self being like, hey, there's magic here for you. And I want to again say thank you to Danny for sharing your journey so openly. And I feel grateful to walk beside you on this path. And to everyone listening, you are not here by accident. Um, the life you want, the life of your wildest imagination is already seeking you, right? Like your dream wants you as much as you want it. And Ziva Magic is a beautiful way for you to become a match for it. So I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will see you next week on Why Isn't Everyone Doing This? Bye, friends. And to everyone listening, if this is inspiring a curiosity inside you, I invite you to trust that. That is your future self saying, there's something here for you. Pay attention. So if you are ready to follow that curiosity, if you are ready to get your dreams out of your head and into your reality, onto your calendar, into your bedroom and your bank account, I invite you to join me inside the Ziva experience. Now, this is one of the most profound offerings I've ever made. It's a combination of the two most powerful lineages I've accessed, combined inside of a 6-month container where you get to receive your own personal mantra, a whole meditation initiation, where you get to move through the full Ziva Magic embodied manifesting formula and do it all with a world-class community of magic makers who are here for your dreams, who are rooting for you to win. So if you are ready, the cart is open now. Enrollment is open for 2026. Right now, you can go to experience.zivameditation.com, but I want you to know that the cart is only open for a few more days. So I would either click the link in the show notes or go to experience.zivameditation.com, and let's see just how good life can get